Maiden, I think we had a little bit of too many turnovers. They definitely slowed the pace down, and at the end of the day, we got to play what works for us. We got to keep our pace high. We got to play our defensive schemes, take care of business on the defensive end, get boards, and run. That's what we're good at. We have great people who are awesome in the open court, and so I just think we lacked pace tonight, honestly.
Kaylee, can you take me through that second quarter play with Stokes that made you upset, and then you hopped into the back?
That hurts. Like, the ref can't miss that, and then I have to play with a contusion in my leg the rest of the game. It's ridiculous. Can't miss calls like that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting video. Without wasting any time, let's get straight into today's story. As halftime approached, the tension inside the arena was impossible to ignore after one of the most intense quarters in Indiana Fever history. But the real drama unfolded off the court. Caitlin Clark, clearly frustrated, walked quickly toward the bench while head coach Stephanie White followed closely behind, trying to give instructions over the loud crowd. Then everything changed. Although the cameras couldn't pick up the conversation, Clark suddenly turned around, faced her coach directly, pointed toward the court, shook her head, and firmly responded. The assistant coaches stood still as the exchange unfolded. It wasn't an emotional outburst or an attempt to create headlines. It was the reaction of a fierce competitor who expects strong leadership, honest communication, and the freedom to speak her mind. Anyone who has followed Clark's journey knows this is nothing new. From her unforgettable college career at Iowa to becoming one of the biggest stars in the WNBA, she has always competed with confidence, challenged expectations, and never been afraid to express exactly what she believes. This moment felt different because it was about much more than one bad quarter or a missed rotation. It raised bigger questions about the Indiana Fever's future and whether Caitlin Clark would truly be allowed to play her game. Clark didn't come to the WNBA to blend into the background. She didn't spend 4 years transforming college basketball only to be told to slow the pace or step aside while others control the offense. Fans come to watch her exciting style, from deep three-pointers and no-look passes to fast break plays that start the moment she grabs the ball. Since joining Indiana, though, she has often seemed forced to adjust to a more traditional system built around slower possessions, set plays, and experienced veterans who have spent years in the league. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Surprisingly, over 83% of our viewers haven't subscribed yet. It only takes a second, it's completely free, and your support helps the channel grow. Have you subscribed already? If so, thank you for being part of the community.
Had some good looks that didn't go down, and then, I shot some tougher looks too, but, I thought I finally kind of played with a little bit more pace and a little bit more burst, especially down the stretch in the fourth, but hopefully I don't have to keep playing 25 minutes.
Coach Stephanie White prefers a controlled style focused on discipline, structured plays, and trusting experienced veterans instead of long-range shots or fast-paced transition offense. Caitlin Clark sees the game very differently, believing in speed, quick ball movement, open space, and the freedom to create opportunities. Her reaction at halftime made it clear that this difference in philosophy had reached a breaking point. The frustration had been building for weeks through missed cuts, slow rotations, and possessions where Kelsey Mitchell settled for difficult mid-range shots, while Clark was left out of the offense. Clark's frustration wasn't personal, it was about strategy. She believes she can read the game several steps ahead, but the current system has been limiting her ability to play at her best. As the third quarter began, it was clear that something had changed. Caitlin Clark came out for the second half with a completely different mindset and a determined look that showed she was ready to take over. It felt like she had flipped a switch. In less than 5 minutes, she knocked down 3 deep three-pointers and quickly shifted from setting up teammates to becoming the team's main scorer. As the crowd erupted, Coach Stephanie White stayed quiet on the bench while Clark took control of the game. The difference was easy to see. The offense became faster, the ball moved more smoothly, and her teammates started setting stronger screens and making smarter cuts to create open opportunities. Natasha Howard, who had struggled to fit into the offense earlier, began playing at Clark's pace, and Kelsey Mitchell adjusted by finding Clark on the break with a transition assist instead of forcing difficult shots. After a dominant 30-point quarter, the Fever looked less like a struggling middle-of-the-pack team and more like a serious playoff contender. Following the game, the post-game press conference was filled with questions. Coach Stephanie White gave a standard response, saying the team simply made adjustments and played a great second half, without mentioning the heated halftime exchange that had been seen during the broadcast. Caitlin Clark, however, addressed the situation more directly. Calm and confident, she explained that the team is trying to build something special and that meaningful success sometimes requires difficult conversations because her only goal is to win. Her message was clear. She isn't focused on pleasing everyone. She's focused on leading the team. Many believe that if the Fever truly want to reach their potential, they need to fully trust Clark and let her lead. She is more than just the team's leading scorer. She is also its best playmaker, passer, floor leader, and biggest opportunity to build a modern style of basketball. As the WNBA continues to evolve toward a faster, more open, and star-driven game, Clark represents that new direction. Even so, the transition won't be easy. Experienced veterans still expect their voices to carry weight. Some coaches continue to prefer structured and cautious systems, and many critics still mistake Clark's confidence for arrogance. The biggest question isn't about one game or a single argument. It's about the future of the Indiana Fever. Successful teams are built on clear direction, bold decisions, and trusting their best players to shape the team's identity. That's what is at stake here. It's not just about play calls or statistics, but whether the Fever are ready to fully embrace Caitlin Clark as the leader of the franchise or continue relying on a mix of outdated strategies and veteran influence. Fans have already made their choice. They cheer the loudest for Clark. Her merchandise continues to sell quickly, and every time she touches the ball, national attention follows. She is more than a rookie. She has become the face of a new era. Moments like the halftime confrontation often become turning points when a star finally says what many have been thinking. That exchange may have been only the beginning, but it has also highlighted a much bigger issue that continues to grow within the Fever and across the WNBA. Caitlin Clark's emotional exchange with her coach represented more than personal frustration. It reflected the experience of many athletes who feel held back by systems that leave little room for creativity and leadership. This isn't just about one player or one disagreement. It highlights a larger debate between tradition and change in women's basketball. Stephanie White represents a coaching style built on structure, discipline, and repetition, an approach that proved successful when the league was still establishing itself. But today's WNBA is different. Fans want more than efficient basketball. They want excitement, star power, fast-paced action, deep three-pointers, confidence, and unforgettable moments that dominate social media. They want players who bring energy and emotion to every game, and Caitlin Clark has consistently delivered exactly that, making her one of the biggest attractions in the sport. Caitlin Clark is not a perfect player, and even her biggest supporters know she sometimes takes difficult shots that don't always go in. But what makes her special is the constant pressure she puts on opposing defenses the moment she touches the ball. She spots passing lanes before they open, creates better opportunities for her teammates, and brings excitement that benefits the entire league. That's why the reported tension with the coaching staff matters. It's not simply about disagreement. It's about making sure the team's system matches the strengths of its biggest star. At times, Clark appears to be playing within a system that limits her natural style, and that shows in the pace of the offense, the team's rhythm, and possessions where she is left waiting for the ball. According to this perspective, the issue extends beyond one game and reflects a growing gap between an innovative player and a more cautious approach. It also raises questions about the locker room, where some experienced veterans may still believe they should have the strongest voice in leading the team. For years, Kelsey Mitchell has been one of the Indiana Fever's most recognizable players, and some observers believe the difference in playing styles has created visible challenges on the court. From isolation plays to missed passing opportunities and adjusting to Clark's faster pace, the discussion goes beyond individual players and reflects a broader generational shift. Similar situations often happen when a talented young star joins a team with experienced veterans, bringing natural questions about roles, leadership, and change. From this viewpoint, If the Fever want to reach their full potential, they need to prioritize a clear long-term vision over staying comfortable with old habits. That means building the offense around Caitlin Clark's strengths, encouraging teammates to trust her with the ball, and creating a system that allows her to play freely instead of asking her to change her natural style to fit an older approach. Some believe the Indiana Fever's front office is trying to balance two different priorities by embracing the excitement Caitlin Clark brings while also keeping experienced veterans satisfied. But that approach may become difficult to maintain over time. From this perspective, if the organization truly sees Clark as its future, it needs to build the team around her strengths rather than expecting her to fit into an older system. Clark already has global recognition and continues to attract major attention through sponsorships, merchandise, and media coverage, giving her plenty of opportunities throughout her career. The reported halftime confrontation also sparked widespread discussion across social media, podcasts, and sports shows. Opinions were divided, with some criticizing Clark for challenging authority while others praised her for demanding accountability and strong leadership. Regardless of where people stood, the moment generated enormous attention once again, highlighting her influence on the conversation surrounding the league and the responsibility that comes with being one of its biggest stars. According to this perspective, Caitlin Clark is influencing more than just her team's style of play. She is also changing the conversation about coaching, media coverage, and how women's basketball is viewed. Supporters argue that her willingness to express her opinions, challenge decisions, and show strong leadership should be seen as the mindset of a highly competitive athlete rather than simply being labeled as negative behavior. They also point to a perceived difference in how similar moments are discussed in men's and women's basketball, noting that when NBA stars openly disagree with coaches, it is often viewed as part of fierce competition, while similar situations involving Clark tend to receive greater criticism and controversy. As her influence continues to grow, many believe she will keep facing both strong support and significant opposition. Supporters believe Caitlin Clark continues to face criticism from some coaches who view her confidence as a challenge, commentators who expect rookies to stay quiet, and fans who think she should simply accept the existing system. Others argue that she is creating a new path rather than following an old one. From this viewpoint, the Fever's offense has looked more effective since the reported halftime exchange, with quicker ball movement, faster pace, better off-ball movement, and improved scoring. They believe the team's performance improves when Clark is trusted to lead the offense. Looking ahead, many feel the Fever must make important decisions if their goal is long-term success. That includes evaluating whether the coaching approach fits the team's future, deciding which players are committed to adapting, and giving Clark both the freedom and support to maximize her impact. In their view, the organization will eventually have to choose between fully building around its biggest star or risking the opportunity to do so. Many believe the reported halftime exchange was about more than just the Indiana Fever and sent a message across the entire WNBA. According to this view, coaches and general managers around the league were forced to consider how they would handle a star with Caitlin Clark's level of talent, popularity, and influence. Supporters argue that when a player of her profile takes control of the conversation, it can change the balance of attention within the league. They see the situation as extending beyond basketball into areas like branding, media coverage, and fan interest. Clark's impact is often associated with increased excitement, strong merchandise sales, and higher demand for tickets whenever she plays, making her one of the league's biggest attractions both on and off the court. Supporters argue that Caitlin Clark has brought an unprecedented level of attention to the WNBA, with local news outlets covering games, national media increasing its focus on the league, and Fever matchups receiving more primetime exposure whenever she plays. From this perspective, her influence extends beyond her performance on the court because her comments and actions often become major storylines that attract fans, media, and sponsors. Many believe her growing popularity has also made her a valuable figure for major brands, not only because of her basketball skills, but because she creates excitement, memorable moments, and compelling stories that capture public attention. They argue that moments like the reported halftime confrontation reinforced her image as a fierce competitor determined to win rather than simply maintain a positive public image. As a result, Some believe the Fever now have a player whose value reaches beyond statistics, contributing to the team's visibility, commercial success, and overall impact on the league. Many supporters believe that if the Fever fail to maximize Caitlin Clark's strengths, they are missing an opportunity not only for the team but also for their fans, business partners, and investors. They argue that Clark has attracted a new audience to the WNBA, including longtime basketball fans, casual viewers, and many people who had never watched the league before. Her popularity has helped bring more attention to women's basketball, which many feel has long deserved greater recognition. With these new fans come new expectations, including faster-paced games, exciting highlights, emotional competition, and an offense built around creativity and movement. From this perspective, some believe the Fever's current style does not fully match what today's audience wants to see. They also argue that Clark's influence is being noticed throughout the league, with other players and organizations watching closely to see how Indiana chooses to build around one of the sport's biggest stars. Many observers believe that young players across the league are paying close attention to how the Indiana Fever handle Caitlin Clark's role and influence. From this perspective, if the organization fully supports her by building the offense around her strengths and adapting its coaching approach, it could encourage more young stars to confidently share their ideas and take on greater leadership roles. Supporters argue that this would reflect growing player empowerment rather than arrogance. On the other hand, they believe that if Clark's abilities are limited by outdated systems or ineffective spacing, it could discourage future players from speaking up or reaching their full potential. Regardless of the debate, many agree that Clark represents part of a new generation of talented athletes, with more highly skilled young players expected to shape the future of women's basketball in the years ahead. Many believe the next generation of women's basketball stars, including Juju Watkins, Paige Buchers, and Hannah Hidalgo, will enter the league expecting to play an active role in shaping their teams rather than simply following established systems. They have grown up watching NBA stars influence how their teams play, and some expect a similar player-centered approach in the WNBA. From this viewpoint, the league will need to adapt to the changing expectations of its young talent. Regarding Stephanie White, supporters acknowledge that she is an experienced and respected coach, but some argue that long-standing coaching philosophies can sometimes make it difficult to embrace a faster, more creative style of basketball. They see Clark's reported halftime reaction not as an act of disrespect, but as a sign of urgency from a highly competitive player who believes the team can succeed by fully embracing its strengths. Whether people agree or disagree, the discussion reflects a broader conversation about leadership, coaching, and how teams balance structure with the freedom that elite players often seek. Some believe Caitlin Clark's reported halftime confrontation may have become a turning point for the Indiana Fever season. From this perspective, difficult moments can sometimes expose problems that have been building behind the scenes and force an organization to address them. Supporters argue that Clark voiced frustrations many within the team may have already felt, leaving the Fever with an important decision about their future. They have seen how the offense can look when it plays at a faster pace built around Clark's strengths, producing more space, smoother ball movement, and stronger scoring performances. The question now is whether the organization will fully embrace that approach or return to its previous system. Many believe the choices made over the next few years could shape the franchise's future. They also point out that star players eventually expect teams to match their ambitions, and if those expectations are not met, important conversations can shift from in-game adjustments to off-season decisions about contracts, long-term plans, and the direction of the organization. The reported halftime confrontation drew attention because it appeared to reflect more than a brief emotional moment. With a packed arena, television cameras focused on the game, and fans watching closely, the exchange between Caitlin Clark and head coach Stephanie White sparked widespread discussion across the league. Supporters argue that the tension had been building over weeks through differences in playing style, team strategy, and overall direction. From this perspective, the bigger issue is about the Indiana Fever's identity and whether the organization will fully embrace its young star or continue relying on a more traditional approach. Reports and speculation have suggested that Clark has shared ideas during team discussions about increasing the pace, improving spacing, adjusting rotations, and creating a more effective transition offense. According to those reports, frustration eventually reached a breaking point after a coaching decision late in a close game, leading many observers to view the exchange as the result of ongoing competitive disagreements rather than a single isolated incident. According to reports and commentary surrounding the situation, Clark's time on the bench was described as a chance to rest. But some viewers noticed her appearing frustrated as the team struggled during that stretch. Those observations led to speculation about whether deeper issues might exist within the team. Supporters also believe Clark may not be the only player who prefers a faster, more modern style of basketball. Some observers suggest that younger players, including rookies and second-year athletes who admired her success at Iowa, are more comfortable with an up-tempo offense, greater ball movement, fewer isolation plays, and a system that relies more heavily on modern analytics and pace. From this viewpoint, the discussion extends beyond one player and reflects a broader shift in how many younger athletes believe the game should be played. According to reports and commentary, one assistant coach reportedly compared the situation to driving a high-performance sports car as if it were an older, slower vehicle, suggesting that Caitlin Clark's abilities may not be fully reflected in the team's current style of play. Supporters emphasize that this is not necessarily a criticism of Stephanie White's basketball knowledge, but rather a difference in coaching philosophy. They point to the team's pace and argue that the offense appears more effective when Clark is allowed to push the tempo. Reports have also described moments of tension in the locker room, including disagreements following missed transition opportunities, leading some observers to believe there are differing opinions about the team's direction. Despite those discussions, many fans highlighted the Fever's explosive offensive performance against the Dallas Wings as evidence of what the team can achieve when playing a faster, more fluid style. They argue that Clark's leadership, quick decision-making, ball movement, and growing chemistry with younger teammates have helped the offense look more dynamic and enjoyable, making the team appear far more competitive. Supporters argue that the Fever's faster style of play is not just exciting to watch, but also an effective basketball strategy that creates highlights and draws more fans to games. According to reports and speculation, Clark's representatives have remained professional while believing the team should be built around the strengths of a generational point guard rather than expecting her to fit into an existing system. Media discussions have even raised questions about whether changes to the coaching approach could eventually be considered, although the Fever have continued to publicly support Stephanie White. At the same time, the organization has seen increased attendance, strong merchandise sales, and greater national media attention, leading many to believe it faces important decisions about maintaining that momentum. The fan base has also become more passionate and divided, with many Clark supporters arguing that she is not only the face of the Fever, but one of the biggest figures shaping the future of the WNBA. Supporters often point to Caitlin Clark's popularity, arguing that her games attract larger television audiences and bring new attention to the WNBA. Critics, however, believe she should spend more time proving herself before publicly challenging a coach or taking on a greater leadership role. Others see those criticisms as part of a broader debate about how the league is changing and how quickly young stars should influence their teams. Paige Bueckers is frequently included in these conversations because of her own outstanding talent and leadership. While many view Bueckers as calm, composed, and highly effective, Clark is often described as a player who changes the pace and energy of a game. Their growing rivalry has already generated excitement among fans, with many expecting it to become one of the WNBA's defining matchups in the years ahead. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever face important decisions about their future, including how to balance their coaching philosophy with the strengths of one of the league's biggest stars and create a system that gives the team the best chance to succeed. Many supporters see the reported confrontation as more than an emotional reaction, believing it marked a turning point in the ongoing discussion about the Indiana Fever's future. From their perspective, Clark's message was simple. She wants to win, lead the team, play to her strengths, and help shape a modern style of basketball. They argue that she is no longer willing to wait for gradual change and hopes the organization fully commits to a clear direction. Whether the coaching approach evolves, the system changes, or the team continues on its current path, many believe the decisions made from this point forward will have a major impact on both the Fever's future and the broader conversation surrounding the WNBA. One thing is certain. The attention on Caitlin Clark and the league continues to grow, making every next step even more significant.